how to do your first pull-up with perfect technique. Now, if you haven't seen the video that I've already done on the technique behind the pull-up, I fully recommend that you do watch that. But this video is going to go more into the regressions that you should complete in your journey to achieving a pull-up with perfect technique. So without further ado, let me show you what those regressions are. Now, the first regression that we're going to go through here, sometimes it's called an Australian pull-up. I just call it a bar row. And how we're going to set this up, the bar is going to be level with your belly button. And then what we're going to do, the reason why we're doing this is just to develop pulling strength and to get you used to pulling your body towards a bar, okay? And it's going to be a fundamental regression to begin with. So you're going to grab onto the bar. We're going to go slightly wider than shoulder width. You'll know that narrow is going to be really awkward as your elbows will drive out. We don't really want that. If anything, we want the elbows to drive in. So go a little bit wider than shoulder width. Start with your belly actually touching the bar. And then from here, whilst you're keeping tension, walk forwards. And my body is still in contact with the bar. And then once I'm here, I'm just going to let my hips drop back. And then I'm going to pull my belly button back to touch the bar before I release again, okay? Now, it's really important whilst you're performing this movement that you're not just dropping back and you're not letting the hips go. You're keeping the tension in the body. So that's essentially that hollow body position. And you are keeping tension on the way down, okay? Because that's going to be the way that you're going to build strength in this movement. So that's exactly how to perform the body row. So the next move is the supported pull-up. Again, we're going to be using that same principle of getting you used to pulling your body towards a bar. Hopefully you've developed some pulling strength by doing lat pull downs, but this is going to be slightly different in that because you're pulling your body towards a bar, your brain's kind of learning a new movement pattern. And so this is a movement pattern that we obviously want to develop when we actually come to do our full pull-ups. So how do you set this up? Firstly, I've got this at shoulder height, okay? Any higher, you're not gonna be able to get your chest to the bar, which is what I wanna encourage that you all do with your pull-ups. And any lower is just gonna be a lot more awkward as a starting position. So we're basically just mimicking exactly where we're going to on our full pull-ups, but with a standing position. Now, with your feet, what you're gonna do is just bring them forward slightly, because that's going to allow your hips to go straight down. If you start with your feet back here, well, that's going to be very awkward. You're not going to get a vertical path of your body, i.e. you're not going to be able to mimic your back sliding down a wall, which is what we want. So make sure that you bring your feet forward slightly. That's going to allow you to basically go straight down. Now, from here, elbows are in. So we've activated the lats, and then I'm just going to slowly descend. So drop the hips down into a dead hang. So the dead hang is shoulders right by the ears, and then I'm just going to drive the chest up and then pull the elbow forwards until my chest touches the bar, and then I'm going to go down and I'm going to keep tension through the movement. So that's how you do that. Now that's going to get pretty easy very quickly. You're going to bring one leg forwards, keep that off the floor, keep it in tension, go all the way down. And then, again, shoulder blades down the back, pull up, lock out the leg until the chest touches the bar before you go back down again. And that's how you perform that movement. You've probably heard how great negatives are for developing your pull-up strength, and that is definitely true. However, most of us start doing negatives before we're strong enough to even do them. And with them being so essential, we need to find a way to bridge the gap. So this is actually a regression that I've not really seen anyone do or talk about before using a band, but it's going to be absolutely essential to help you bridge that gap towards being able to do a full negative. So what we're going to do, just a quick reminder of what a negative looks like. So I'll just quickly do the positive. Negative is where we're slowing down this eccentric phase as much as possible, okay? And the benefits are there's more force going through the muscle in that phase, and so it's going to be a great way for you to build some strength. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, that can be pretty hard for you to do when you've not got body control. So we're going to use a band. So If I was you, start with the thickest band, and if you're able to do a 7-second negative with the thickest band, it's probably too much of a resistance, and so you can go to the next smallest band. And if I was you, I would just experiment until you find the band that's right for you. So I'm just going to use this black band today, and I'm not so much focused on the pulling up part of the movement here. So you can even get a bench or something here just to make this easier, but I want you to get to the top and to be able to hold that position at the top before you start your descent. So how you're going to do that is simply, as you can see, I'm not really focused on the pull, but from here, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, if you're able to do that 7 seconds, it doesn't feel like much, as I mentioned, get a lighter band, okay? So you want to actually also build up to being able to do 7 seconds. Now, if you're doing this and 7 seconds seems like far too long, that's actually good. But the main thing is you need to be able to keep control in the whole part of the movement. So let me just talk about how to keep control. So you need to make sure that the body is super tight, elbows are in, and then from here, just push your foot into the band, but keep grip, super tight grip as you descend. And that's how you do your negative. You just got to keep as much tension through the whole body as you do so. And that's going to be a nice, effective negative. So that's how I would, so that's how I would bridge the gap if I was you before you start doing your full negatives. So now you've mastered the negative with the bands. You've built up to a nice 7-second negative with the thinnest band. It's going to be time for you to give the full negative a go, and we're going to use a barbell to set this up. Purely because we've not got a bench here, and so if we use the barbell, we can just go from a standing position. So what you're going to do, grab the bar super tight, elbows in, tiptoe up as high as you can, pull yourself into the bar. From here, lock out the legs, keep tension, and go for a nice slow negative, okay? What we're doing is we're starting from a 3-second negative, and then once you can do a nice 3-second negative, build up in increments of 1, so 4, 5, 6, until you can do a 7-second negative, okay? Once you can do a 7-second negative, do that 2 more times, so essentially 3 reps, and once you can do that, that's typically seen to be the point where you can do a full pull-up. And you might even get to that stage before that because you would have built up so much strength and capacity doing a 7-second negative. So there you have it, guys. That's the ultimate pull-up guide to helping you perform the most perfect pull-up possible. So once you've done all those regressions, so you built up to 10 reps with the Australian pull-up / bar row, you built up to 10 reps with your supported pull-ups, both single leg and double leg, and you've worked up to 3 7-second negatives on each of the band, and obviously your negative pull-up without any bands. It's time to give that pull-up a go. So go and watch the video that I've linked below that tells you all the key technique pointers that I want you to incorporate into your pull-up, and you're going to find that you're going to be able to do the most perfect chest to bar pull-ups. So the next thing that we need to do is go from a stage where we're doing 1 pull-up all the way up to 10 pull-ups, and that's what I'm going to cover in the next video. Make sure you hit subscribe to see that one.